Giraffe vagine. I was right there. Giraffe vagine.
The strippers were moving the way that it was legit.
I forgot they went to the strip club. Oh my God. I totally forgot about that.
So not only am I sad, I'm more hurt. And I move differently when I'm hurt than when I'm sad.
That's because you're a Scorpio. You're Scorpio, Sean. That wasn't a question. Because America and racism. In 1958, there was a man named Clennon Jenkins, I think, or Clennon Johnson. So he applied to the University of Mississippi and was forcibly committed to an insane asylum because the judge said that a black man would have to be crazy to apply to the University of Mississippi. In other words, a black man would have to be insane to want to better himself and get a higher education.
As if any black people, you never mind. You know
exactly. What? And this is why I love that book. It's full of fun facts. Full of fun facts.
Welcome back. Of course, you guys are watching Rewind with Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon. And first things first, you already know we got to talk about these events that are happening in the Seattle, Tacoma area that you should know about. For starters, on Friday, and every single Friday, there is an Afro Beats party that happens at Red Lounge. And these are amazing, amazing music, amazing vibes. I never feel judged when I'm in there. I'm always trying to learn dances that I know good and well my body just to be like, girl, we did not grow up doing this. But it's cool. It's cool. I be trying, okay? Also, if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to be going to Portland on Saturday also. If I can find a flyer for that, I'll put that in here. In the meantime, between time and other things happening across Seattle that you should know about, DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia is going to be at Q Nightclub on Friday. We also have Lash's drag show at the Comeback. This is also something that happens every single Friday. Outside of that, we have the Fall Fashion Brunch, which is happening at Goldfinch Tavern. I'm actually thinking about that because you guys know I'm always good for a nice little brunch, okay? Now, for the kids, there is a show called Ask Why that is going to be at Seattle Children's Theater, okay? One thing I really do like about this is that it's different, okay? Their main focus is kids from ages, I want to say like 3 to 9. And believe it or not, it's like miming and contemporary dance and music to help kids get their feelings out and also be able to understand some of the topics that might be a little bit harder for them to understand as time goes on if they don't think about it now. Ask Why is actually one of the shows where it's going to feature Regine, who will use her own experience to guide us through the question, why are Black people being hurt here in America? And I think we can all say there's been a lot of interesting things happening within the Black community, whether it's from the Black community or outside the Black community or just happening to the Black community. And it's amazing to have something that is like this, that is literally just going to be based and actually targeted towards our kids so that way they know what the heck is going on and why these things are happening. And I think it's so amazing to have something like this actually be geared towards the children because let's be honest, we've all had at least a 5-year-old be like, mommy, daddy, why are they doing this to this person? Or why do they look like me? And this always happens to us. So I think it's amazing for Seattle Children's Theater to be doing this, especially being that not only is it tackling a tough conversation, but it's tackling a tough conversation in a way that children can even understand at the age of 3 to 9 years old. So if you would like more information about BKBX Kids Ask Why, you can head on over to sct.org, and that's also where you can grab your tickets. Now, in other things that are happening across the city, we do have Smokey Robinson. He's going to be at EQC. Then we also have a Mimosa Fest. Okay, you guys know I love me a good mimosa. This is going to be happening at the Crocodile on, I want to say, Sunday. And then also on Sunday, there is a Northwest Record Show at Seattle Center Armory Food Court. All right. And you guys might not know this, but I've been definitely trying to work on a record collection. So I think I'm going to check that out on Sunday and let you guys know how it is.
Deontay here. Join me and my entire Converge family as we once again take over the Paramount Theater October 24th and 25th. And by the way, you can be at the broadcast too. Head over to whereweconverge.com/Paramount to RSVP.
But
trauma bonds.
Intergalactic on a lighter note.
You and me.
Did I say lighter note?
I feel like you did. I mean, it makes sense. It's lighter.
But Intergalactic on a lighter note. I haven't finished it. I started it. And honestly, I think I may have finished it, but I was smoking some weed that night and I really think I fell asleep. So, because when I watched it again just now, it's starting from the beginning. But in case you guys have not seen Intergalactic, I'll give you a quick little 10-second. It's on Netflix. It was written and produced by Black people. The two that I know of is Kenya Barris and Kid Cudi. But then there was also like a whole just team of Black people behind it in terms of the idea behind it and how they wanted it to look and how they wanted it to feel and how they really just wanted it to be nothing like any other cartoon that really involved Black people.
I loved it. And I was so high when I watched it. I was higher than Vagine. Like I was so high. Giraffe vagine. I was right there. Giraffe vagine.
What does that mean?
Giraffe vagine. Giraffe vagina. I was higher than giraffe vagina. I'm using correct words, but giraffe vagine. Because giraffes be up there. And that's where I was. There. It was there. You can't see my hand. I couldn't feel or see myself. That how high I was, and I really enjoyed this movie.
You know what I did like about it, and I haven't even fully watched it yet. I've watched like some previews, and then what am I like 15 minutes into it actually being conscious? Well, then like the first couple moments into it, I see a guy on his balcony smoking a blunt. And even the lighting of the blunt on the cherry of the blunt, I was like, it's not one color.
It's not.
It's actually blunting cherry the way that it's supposed to.
Ombre. The
strippers were moving the way that it was legit.
I forgot they went to the strip club. Oh my God. I totally forgot about that because they did that whole boys night out thing. I was like, yo, this is such a good movie. I was like, this
Ty Dolla $ign's locks were locking. They didn't just look like a big
chunk of.
They be doing all.
Yeah, because Ty does not have trees. He has separate locks. He has no trees.
Right. Big chunk of straight hair together, but it really looked like someone braided it. So I don't know if it was more so of like a green suit type of situation, but it really gave Black metaverse.
Yeah, I would like to know that too, like because it was something that I was watching and I was like, well, some of it, like it's all kind of like hand drawn ish, but like I'm just wondering, it's I could be wrong. It could have changed because back in the day, I used to talk to a guy that it's called vectoring, and so when you turn a regular image into a cartoon, it's called vectoring. So I'm trying to figure out like, is it vector? Is it motion capture? Is it a mixture of both? Like I was actually, because remember I was saying it was kind of like stop motion,
and it was too perfect,
right? It was stop motion, but it was a cartoon,
flow like that,
right. And that's how I was just like, and like I was telling you also when I realized that I was on the same level as the giraffe, it was because it stopped stop motioning and started moving in real time, and I was like, "Oh,
that ain't about right."
I am lit.
But I bet you that made it like the graphics on point, eyebrows on these women on fleek, multiple skin tones of brown, okay, different hair textures, different heights. We got cheekbones, and I know for a fact these women are wearing highlighter for brown girls on there. Like they really took time. And when I was watching some interviews that Kenya Barris, Kid Cudi, and others did about it, Kid Cudi was saying that one of the things he really wanted to do was, in a nutshell, bring out that visual album. You know what I mean? Like connect that music to the soundtrack the way that it used to be connected, in a way to where it's like you hear that song, you instantly think of that scene again. And apparently they did a really, really good job of that, to where it was like they basically dropped the whole album, kind of like Beyonce's
Because if I'm not mistaken, like every time a new song would drop, every time a different song would play, wouldn't they have it like in the somewhere in the screen? They would tell you what song it was. I feel like maybe either that or you know what? I think I was watching it with closed captions on. So maybe that.
I'm like, I don't know. Let's forward.
Actually, that might make sense. I think I was watching it with closed captions on. Again, giraffe. And so, yeah, I could have just been watching it with closed captions on and interpreting it as part of the thing when it wasn't the thing. But seasoning on the chicken, I love it. It was just I'm just it was chef's kiss. I was like,
Kiss.
it was a good movie. It was a really good
I
movie.
know you were gonna say that.
It was a good movie. It was a great carb because I just was cooking. Y'all look at my Instagram. I'd be cooking.
Did you take anything away from it? Because there was one thing that they keep saying in all the previews where it was like, love doesn't really matter or it doesn't really count until you like really mean it or you really feel it or something like that.
It's interesting you asked this question because I was having a very deep board meeting with myself, and this one I confer with me. And
I do the same thing from time to time. No, actually, I do it a lot. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Mm-hmm. And so I was like, because I was thinking about previous relationship, and I was thinking about the word love, and I was thinking about if love is not really any different than any other emotion. I think it's just I wouldn't say that love is different than any other emotion because it's like when you're in love, you do stupid stuff, but you can also do stupid stuff when you're angry. You can do stupid stuff when you're hungry. You can do stupid stuff when you're sad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I always try to figure out like what it is about love that is so exalted. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do the bad things, why is bad things in love worse than like bad things done in sadness, I suppose? Or why does it get more, I guess, like attention or you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the words. Whenever I do this with my hands, I'm trying to find words. But
I just feel like it's more emotionally driven.
Is that what it is?
And I feel like when you really are in love, you truly sometimes have those blinders on.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Where it's like when you're sad, you really just are emotional. When you're in love, and you're upset, you're emotional, and you have blinders on. Like all of your senses and all of your, defenses are taken down. So now you're just this raw shell of yourself that feels hurt, that might be upset, and doesn't really know what to do but lash out. And because your defenses are down, that usually means that your common sense is somewhere, I don't know, in a dumpster around the corner, getting tossed to the bottom of the ocean, getting eaten up or something,
At you like, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Like, yeah, that's your common sense.
Are you stupid, dumb, or both? Like, what are we doing here? Exactly. If not more. Hi, too. What's going on? And I think that's what happens when there's love. Like when you're sad, like for me, I'm sad when like my grandparent, like, my grandma passed away. But when it comes to love, I'm not sad. I'm pissed and I'm hurt. So now you gotta deal with me. Because not only am I sad, I'm more hurt. And I move differently when I'm hurt than when I'm sad.
That's because you're a Scorpio. You're Scorpio, Sean. That wasn't a question. But so like my thing that was a statement. That was a statement. But so like I always
everybody else does that too.
Yeah, it was a statement. So like I figured out in my last relationship that the difference in between loving someone and being in love with someone is that when you love you can love someone like and still retain all your faculties and all the things. But when you're in love with someone, it's literally ignoring everything else, right?
That's wrong with them. Huh?
Or just even like ignoring your mind and listening to your heart. Because your mind will tell you that you shouldn't trust this person for whatever reason, valid or invalid, right? But your heart will tell you, nah, bump that, we're here. And
but so remember what happened when he bought you flowers?
Right.
He cooked you your favorite sea bass dish.
That's not a small feat. And so I might give you a pass as well because it's sea bass. Like that's a whole fish. Like that's a lot. And so It's a big fish. And so like, yeah, but like, no, that's the difference in between loving someone and being in love with someone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like foregoing your mind and listening to your heart, even though your mind is screaming at you, talking from personal experience. Your mind is screaming at you, hey, no, stupid. And you're like, no, I love this person. And
but don't you feel like that happens in general, no matter what the love is? Because, you think about those moms that have the sons and they baby the crap out of their sons, no matter how much crap that they do. I mean, I wouldn't think that you would be in love. I don't have kids, so I don't really know how that works.
Okay.
But I wouldn't, or a sibling. So again, don't really know how that works. I have cousins. So I would think you wouldn't be in love with your son, but I would also think it might be a different kind of love that I just haven't experienced yet.
So there's also, I broke this down. I did a whole mini podcast.
I'm not tripping, right?
No. I did a whole mini podcast on it. In my mind, there's like 4 types of love. There's general love, there's familial love, there's platonic love, and there's familial love, right? So a general love is like, oh, I love skiing. It's a general infatuation with a person, place, or thing, right? Oh, I love Rihanna. I love Beyonce. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know this person, but you love things about this person, right? General love. Then you have like, what did I say? Romantic love. That's actually being in love with someone. And, that love brings physical thing. Like, I want to love you. I want to be with you. I want to have sex on the ceiling. That's romantic kind of love. Platonic love and familial love kind of go hand in hand, but like you can platonically love someone like a friend, you know what I'm saying? And not have any sort of romantic feelings for them. And familial love's the same way. Like a mother can love her child, but she shouldn't be in love with her child, right? You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, those are the 4 types of loves. If anybody wants to write this down, it's fine. Just credit me. I'm cool. I'm available. So yeah, in my mind, that's how I break it down. So
I mean, I would hope it would be that way, because even like the same love that I would have for my job, I'm not going to have that same love for my mama. But I love what I do. You know what I mean? I love my friends, but I don't love my friends as much as I would someone that I was like, in love with and like in like a full blown relationship with. It's different kinds of things. So it's still, it might be on the same level, but the loves are a little different. That makes sense.
I would agree.
Did you take anything away from this show that you watched to where you would like actually recommend it to other people to check it out?
I took away, I like seeing Black people doing things and in places that we historically have been excluded from. So I love the fact that this was an entire cartoon that is essentially, I don't know how, I y'all don't kill me. I don't know the difference in between technically a comic book and a graphic novel. I'm not really sure. But like, it's nice to see Black people in the production, making the production, being a part of the production, and dispensing it in a way that appeals to the people that are in it, right? So I like stuff like that. I also really appreciate the way that,
and not skimping on the budget, because we still don't know if that's like some 3D cartoon.
Cudi, Kenya,
I put on a green suit type of situation and actually pulled a dancer out to jump on the pole type thing, because it's natural to me.
Right. I like that, and the fact that this movie was clearly made for people that do drugs. Because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It actually got better the higher I got. And so I was like, I like people that like marijuana. And so
what is that one TV show about like the white mom with the mixed son and they have the dispensary together? Disjointed. It reminds me of
really. Okay.
Think about it. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I've heard tell of it, but I have not seen it. So now you.
The thing with Disjointed is that it's not a cartoon or anything like that, but they have little moments that if you just watch it, you see it one way. But if you're high,
you see it a completely different way.
it like things that don't make sense as to why they're there. You're like, I understand why you slowed down this moment because you knew I needed a break.
Exactly. It'd be like that.
You knew I needed to get lost. And then the character that got lost in the sauce, they snap back and they'd be like, whoa. And you'd be like, well, goddamn.
It's just like, it's literally just like Pink Floyd's album. The one with the pyramid on it. Fuck. What's the name of it? The one with the pyramid on it.
I have a confession.
Even you don't know who that is? That's fine. It's cool. It's okay. I'm not mad at you.
I'm like,
it's called Time. It's an album with the pyramid on it. That entire album was made to trip on. And you hear it differently. I remember the first time I heard that album, and then I remember the time that I heard it, and we were all cross-faded, smoking blunts and drinking liquor. These are fun restaurant times. I was 16, hanging with 24 and 25-year-olds. Nobody knew my age though, like, because they were like, and I remember when I told them, they were like, "Wait, you're how old?" And he was like, "How?" They were like, "But you don't even act like a kid." And I was like, I mean, I'm used to hanging around adults. Now
I get that, but in the reverse these days.
Yeah. Now pass the blunt and the shot. What are we
Share? What are we doing here?
We're here already. You've already enabled. You have already enabled me. Let's not ruin the moment.
Going out. What are we doing?
Thank you. Let's not ruin the moment. Let's keep it going. All right. I won't drive. At least until I'm sober. I'll take a nap. But let's keep it going. The album is playing. You're right. It was better. They were like, they literally said, what was his name? Tommy? I can't remember. It was like Tommy and Julia and somebody else. And they were like, I can talk about this now because statute of limitations gone. But it's like 20 years ago. And so like God, I am old. But anyway, yeah, they were like, listen to this album high. It makes so much more sense. And it's true. I feel
like a lot of music makes more sense when you're high. And I don't know why. And maybe it's because I think that in this day in life, we just have so many things going on. And you really don't slow down and listen to the music, listen to the lyrics, picture the damn music, and picture what they're really saying. Nobody really does that anymore. Everyone just kind of listens to it. I like the beat, I like the cadence, or I don't. And a lot of times I really do have to sit with an album for like a day or sometimes a month. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, no.
To really be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta process it. Yeah.
I either really do like this or I really don't. And the ones that I like later on, especially all like the Drake ones that I didn't like right away, those are like the ones that I still play on repeat. I'm not even gonna hold you. Even Beyonce's latest album.
You got to be the only black person
I'm okay with that.
No, you got to be the only black woman that said that about it. That has said that about Drake. You literally have to, because I'm
okay with that.
Black girls love Drake.
I enjoy Drake, but it doesn't mean I like everything that he does. Agreed. And sometimes his music, I'm like,
what was that album, Scorpion, where that man had like 40 tracks on it? I said, who was listening to this?
I don't even know if I finished that one, but what I do know is
bro,
that every
single
album.
Ain't nobody finishing through this. Nobody finishing through 30 albums of Drake. Like, who's doing that? Like, no.
Yeah, I don't think I finished that one. I'm not even gonna hold you. I
got to track 5 and turned it off. I was like, okay, we've had enough. And
what happens is, especially if you're not that interested in it, you get to like track 5 or 6, and you're like, how many? You know,
I literally did that. I was like,
nope.
There's 25 more tracks. Yeah, no. Next.
There is. And if anything goes viral, if anything starts popping, I'll know about it.
Right. Then I'll go back and listen to certain parts. There are also certain albums that So this episode is basically a love letter to THC, mushrooms, and other substances. At this point, because we've just really so what you guys don't know is that we talked earlier. And
I don't know what I'm gonna keep in here. I'm not even gonna hold you. You might have like 3 episodes edited out of this one.
It's fine. So we talked earlier about doing an episode about things that make us feel good. And one thing me and Besa have in common is our love of THC. And we
like the high life.
I also like shrooms, but like Psychedelics, man. And so it's just interesting that we got to this topic.
I had my first chocolate.
Your child first who?
My first chocolate.
What does that mean? Oh, the mushroom?
Chocolate.
I don't like those. I'd rather just take a regular cap.
I would too. I don't know the difference. I'm not gonna hold you. I've never had anything outside the chocolate.
I've had both.
My first one with the chocolate, it was great. The second one, it wasn't so great. And at that point, I was like, all right, I just need to go to my own little shroom doctor and figure out my life.
Right, because no. When I went to when I was in New York, when I bought the edibles, now I wish I would have bought the chocolate bar, honestly, because I don't know them edibles was gonna hit like that. But I just did not want the mushroom bar was like $50, and I was like, the edibles were like 25, so I was like, I'm just gonna this will last me a little bit. But now seeing the strength and the potency of those edibles, I wish I had gotten a chocolate bar because
you only need like a little.
No, but when I had the chocolate bar in California for the first time, it didn't really do nothing. I had like 5 or 6 caps and like a third of a chocolate bar. And so, but I wasn't feeling anything, but I had the chocolate bar first. And I didn't start feeling anything until I ate the actual mushrooms. So shout out to Coco Sarai. Shout out to my sis Coco Sarai. Because we got high as hell that night. Oh man, we got high and we got high, and then like he who shall not be named, they put on like a light show on the ceiling. Oh my god, I have videos I have to send you. Like I was just looking.
Oh, dope.
I was looking at my hand. I was high as hell. I was like looking at my hand, looking at it.
And see, that's why I want like the stars that go on the ceiling and shit like that. Like for my living room, I have stuff on like the floor for lights, and then I have stuff around my TV. But in my room, I want it on the ceiling, and then I want one of those little lights that puts like little stars up there and stuff.
I got one in my living room. I used to hang above the TV so that way it would project onto the couch. But then it failed, so now I gotta hang it back up somewhere. But so now when I turn it on, it just sits like on my TV stand. But it's still kind of dope to see it on the ceiling when you're messed up. Wait, so second the second thing I want to talk about that brings me joy, surprisingly, the Miss Pat show is hilarious. Like it is, I be hollering in this house. The Miss Pat show, shout out, it's Emmy nominated now. Like it's really good. I've never seen a kind of like comedy sitcom in the styling the way that she does it. Like she will do like maybe like a 2-minute bit, and then she'll put the mic down and whatever happens, and they'll start the scene like directly from her bit. And I was like, that's really unique. Like that's really dope. Like, and then like I said, it's actually the Miss Pat show. It is I highly recommend it. It is really, really funny. She's an amazing comedian. They tackled, I just watched the episode where Brittany Inge, shout out Brittany Inge. I love her. She's gorgeous. She thick as a mug. And she was on my podcast. So shout out to Brittany Inge. But Brittany Inge is in it. She comes out as a lesbian, and it was a whole thing. It was just a really good, really funny episode. I like that. I like her style of comedy because it's a way more vulgar version of the way that I use comedy to teach lessons. I will say that. So it's just like I was like, oh, I see myself in this person and the way that they're.
I want to see.
It's a real. You gotta watch it.
YouTube, HBO.
You got BET Plus?
I think I do.
I'm about to say, if not, I got 2 weeks left on my subscription. I'll give you my login. You can watch it.
I do, because I'll be watching Medea. I got it somewhere.
Medea on Netflix too. So
no, not the plays.
But you watch it on. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay.
The plays are only on BET Plus.
Okay.
You can watch all the old school plays on BET Plus.
Oh, okay. Good stuff. So yes, it's on BET Plus. It's a really, 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 really funny show. So I highly recommend.
Check it out. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
This is the other half of that.
Well, if I had to say the things that really make me happy, I would say the best things that make me happy these days is sitting in my bathtub after a day where I want to throw my phone out the window as if I didn't actually need it, which takes a lot of work because, I gotta take the screen off, you gotta put the screen back on. It's a lot of work to do that, but I really be ready to do that. But it's something about sitting in the bathtub, watching tarot readings, having like a fireplace on my TV because my apartment doesn't have one, and lighting an incense that just makes me feel so relaxed by the end of the night. And what I really like to do is clean my entire apartment. Like I'm putting away clothes, putting stuff in the dryer, washing the dishes, wiping things down on the counter, cleaning it up. Then once it's finally clean, I come back, I go back over certain areas with some Florida water. And then I run my bathtub and I put a little Epsom salt in there, some essential oils. And then last night, I didn't even turn anything on when I was in the tub. I was just on my phone, just like reading an article. And it was so
relaxing. Hashtag self-care.
No, period. My other favorite form of things that make me happy, I have to say, is just not being in Seattle these days.
Well,
it's not that I want to leave Seattle. I don't like, and people get confused when they're like, "Oh, you don't want to be here?" No, I like it here because when I leave for too long, I'm ready to come back.
Right.
But I like to get a break from the bubble that we're in.
Right.
And even when I go to Portland, I'm like, I feel alive until I felt like I needed to buy a pocket knife. When I was in Hawaii, I was like, this is great. Until I realized how far apart everything was, and it was just muggy at all times, So when I get out of Seattle, I really feel like I can 1000% be me. Okay. I feel free, if you will. Like, I don't feel like, I'm going to go into Whole Foods or I went to the bank one day and somebody knew who I was. I'm like, damn, what if my bank account only had like $10? That's embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird moving around this city sometimes for me. And sometimes I don't know who's watching me. I don't really know who knows who I am. It doesn't really want to say things. Mm-hmm. And it happens to where someone's like, oh my God, I knew that was you like an hour ago, but I just didn't want to say anything. But when I leave, it's amazeballs because no one is used to seeing me.
I have a friend that does he's a content creator in the new generation of content creators, which is porn stars. So he's on OnlyFans.
I'm gonna say, come on, OnlyFans.
He on OnlyFans popping. Shout out my boy Gio. And we were talking about, it's so nice, and I think I had this conversation with you too. It's nice to have friends that do things, because people that don't do things don't understand. Like, again, the things that I do on the internet, to my mind, live on the internet. Like, it's a whole different
world.
But that's not the truth, because I am the things that I do on the internet and vice versa. And so, like, we were talking about how interesting, he was like telling me a story about how he was riding on a bird through Midtown, and like somebody messaged him on Twitter. It was like, oh, I saw you riding on a bird through Midtown. Why would you message me that? Like, that's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like the things that my own personal experiences that have happened to me and my minuscule amount of, if you want to call it, internet fame, your experiences or whatever else. Like, people, like, it's hard to explain to people
people will really do that. That's happened to me. Oh, I was here and I just didn't want to say hi, or I didn't get a chance to say hi, but they find you on social media and you're just like,
right. It's very, it's
now
very.
What if I was tooting it up? Goddamn.
I don't really toot, but I don't toot. There's no tooting, there's no becking, there's no
twerking.
Toot
that ass up. Okay, anyway,
not my ministry. But yeah, no, it's like I said, it's just it's different when you do things and you have when you have a public facing life. You forget that you're in the public, right? And that's a 367 day situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really stop. And so like you kind of like you said, it's just interesting to have that happen. And I'm just thankful now that I'm starting to make more friends and people that do things who can have these conversations. Because me trying to have this conversation with like my mama or my country cousins or even some people down here, like they just don't get it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole moment. People like, I'm like, oh my God. I wonder, I was literally walking from doing an interview with someone, and I was on the phone. I think I was on the phone with O, actually. And I'm telling him about how, like, just how great the interview was. And someone goes, are you Besa? And I was like, what the fuck? As I'm just walking in the middle of downtown, minding my own business. There's been other times where I'm crossing the street. Someone's like, hey, Besa. And I'm like, right. Like, you got a name tag on. Like, what? How do you? Oh.
Then I got all the white people looking at me like, well, who this? It's a weird, not that it matters, but it's just a matter of like, well, who is that, you know?
Right.
And it's like, it's just a weird thing of, I just like to walk around and mind my business. Yeah, like the people that need to know who I am, that's who I really want to know who I am. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I want my listeners to know who I am, but when I'm just walking down the street, I don't have security like that. Mm-hmm. It scares me sometimes when people just pop up. It's weird. Right. So I like being out of the state. I could wear itty bitty shorts. I could wear whatever I want, walk where I need to go, mind my business, and it's not as crazy, although I should still be careful, which I am. But it's in a different way of me not worrying about someone potentially eavesdropping on whatever I'm talking about just because they know who I am. Not because what I'm talking about is interesting, but because they're like, oh my God, let's Besa. Who is she talking to?
Trying to be nosy, right? You just want to be nosy. You're trying to mind my business and drink my water when you should be minding yours and drinking yours. Like that situation.
You're smoking your own weed. We don't do 5 on it out here. What you doing?
What you mean? I got 5 on it. No, you don't.
No, you have your own pre-roll. It's COVID. Are you stupid?
And monkeypox. I ain't randomly smoking after nobody.
And flu season is where? Right there.
As I start coughing.
I've been coughing all day, but we have like apparently the worst air in the world right about now here in Washington State. We have about 3 fires going on, and I'm not even gonna hold you. It's pretty bad.
Yo, I was talking to excuse me. Lord God. I was talking to my boy Joel. And he was telling me that like the air is real bad because I got like hella fires.
Hella. And it's not raining. And I feel like even when it does rain, there's so much smoke, the rain doesn't fully make it all the way down.
It's not raining in Seattle. That's because
when you 80 degrees on Monday.
When global warming. Because when he said that there was forest fires, I was like, but it's
October.
Evergreen. It's October, but there are evergreens everywhere. And it's always moist.
Dry.
And it's always moist.
Ever crinkly, ever crackly grass. Like, it's dry out here. I mean, I'm not saying that the grass is necessarily not green, but it has not been raining in a minute. Like, it was supposed to rain on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it still has not rained. It rained for like maybe 5 minutes, and then it just has not rained again. So now we just got all this smoke that looks like fog, and the air is a mess. I woke up with a sore throat today, and it wasn't from COVID. So, it's like the air is just, and I ain't been doing nothing else, y'all. So the air is just jacked.
Meanwhile, I too have a sore throat. I'm battling right now and getting over. And like I said, the spirit of car troubles, the spirit of exhaustion, and the spirit of whatever seasonal ailments is upon all of us right now. Because everybody, I done talked to 5 people this week with car trouble, including myself. And my mama got car trouble. I was like, I swear everybody car in the shop. Everybody like.
I asked my friend, and I was like, girl, what is in retrograde? And she said there's like an eclipse in Scorpio that's coming up. I said, oh, is that what it is? Welcome to my world.
Something.
Yeah,
well, an eclipse is. Wouldn't the eclipse in Scorpio make you nice? Wouldn't the eclipse in Scorpio make you nice though?
Does anything in Scorpio make you nice?
That's a good question. That's a literally good. I was talking to somebody.
I genuinely believe that I'm just a well-balanced Scorpio, but I still have my moments.
I told you I was talking to somebody that was Scorpio Sun, Cancer Moon, Scorpio Rising. And I was like, "Oh, so you're evil? Like you're actually evil? Like there's a definite, like, there's Trump, and then there's like Ursula, and so you sit somewhere in the middle, but you're definitely evil. Like you're definitely on the scale. You're on the spectrum for evil."
Yeah, I
For
definitely
demonic
have a
activity.
good heart, but I have some itchy things, if you will,
Not
some itchy habits, if you will.
itchy.
Um,
Phrase it.
that I have some tinglings that sometimes I'd be like, damn, that
Phrase
was really rude.
And
Why did you do that?
and your peoples is from Louisiana, so that's just gotta watch that food.
I do my best to not think too hard. If you know what I mean. But yeah, no, I think those are gonna be like my two happy places, along with watching Beyonce's Black is King. I don't know why, but whenever I
That
feel a
was
way about life, I
beautiful
will watch
visuals.
Beyonce. I will watch
Beautiful.
Beyonce's Black is King.
Very beautiful visuals. It's very beautiful visuals. What's really interesting is, and I'm gonna bring it back to Coco. Shout out Coco Sarai. She has a video called "Coffee in the Morning," and
Tell me more.
And is that Coffee in the Morning? So she, in this video, I just want to make sure I'm quoting it right, but in this video, for the video for Coffee in the Morning time, when you said Black is King, she does her visuals kind of like, and mind you, this video came out 3 years ago, so this video came out before Beyonce did it, but it's just kind of interesting to see the visuals in it because it reminds me of Black is King. And this is a small budget, small production. And she does the thing. So that was random. But I also like to big up my friends.
All right, y'all. Well, shoot, that's gonna be everything that makes me happy. Traveling, taking a good bath, cleaning up my apartment, and frankly, sometimes just being by my damn self because I am an antisocial mother. You know what? And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you know it. Otherwise, JC, if you have one quick book that you would say makes you happy
right now, Sapiens by, I can't remember his name. Sapiens. We talked about this before.
We talked about that.
I mentioned because I'm still listening to it. Like
and I have it on my Audible.
It's a long listen and or read, but it's so good. It's so good. I found out he was giving because America and racism. In 1958, there was a man named Clennon Jenkins, I think, or Clennon Johnson. So he applied to the University of Mississippi and was forcibly committed to an insane asylum because the judge said that a black man would have to be crazy to apply to the University of Mississippi. In other words, a black man would have to be insane to want to better himself and get a higher education.
As if any black people, never mind.
Exactly. And this is why I love that book. It's full of fun facts. It's full of fun facts.
Let me not even do that because, honey.
It's full of fun. So yes, I highly recommend the book Sapiens. And I always am a little leery about books that talk about human history that aren't written by exclusively black people, only because books about human history that aren't written about black people tend to erase black people, which is ironic because we started humanity, but that's neither here nor there. And so I was a little leery on this book, but this book spares no punches. It throws no punch. This book is very much a very factual take on humanity, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that stuff. So I will highly recommend that book.
All right. Well, you guys definitely check out Sapiens, and you guys already know this particular episode with JC. Let me tell you, we talked about a whole lot of tingling, so y'all might end up getting 2 episodes, 3 episodes, out of this one. I'm not even gonna hold you. We have a lot of sporadic topics going on.
I have to start doing more episodes like on half edible. Like this was really enjoyable.
This is good. Remind everyone of where they can find you out on social media.
All right, once again, guys, I am your friendly neighborhood Negro, Jay Carrington, aka JC. You can follow us, the OVT Network. It's on the screen right there. On all social media platforms. That's the YouTube, that's the TikToks, that's the Instagrams, that's the Twitters, that's the Snaps. Do we have a Snapchat? We don't have a Snapchat. I don't use Snapchat. I'm 34. Who uses Snapchat under the age of 20? Let's be real. Let's be real.
The filters aren't even good anymore. I'm not even gonna hold you.
I used to only use Snapchat for the filters, but
for the filters, and now I'm just like Instagram.
Yeah,
you figured it out, because for a minute Instagram filters were a no-no.
Trash, and now they done zuck the hell out of TikTok and Snapchat. So it was a zucking. If you see a zucking, say a zucking. And so that just means Mark Zuckerberg, because you know how Facebook steals everything. So
or buys everything.
Yeah. Shout out to T-Boy, because they came up with that phrase, T-Boy, the best one yet podcast. It's a financial podcast that I like to listen to. But yeah, if you see a zucking, say a zucking. And so yeah. Nick and Jack, I love you. Them two of my favorite white people. I really like them. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, you just follow me on the social medias right there. At theovtnetwork.com.
All right. Well, y'all already know you can keep up with me on social media at Besa Gordon. I'll be back next week. Of course, next time you see me, I'll be at the Paramount doing the live broadcast at the Paramount Theater. JC should actually be there with us too at some point. So yeah, in the meantime, between time, keep up with me on social media at Besa Gordon. Real quick, JC, before we go.
Hi.
Is the world flat or circular?
Ooh, we're gonna go with circular, Bob.
All right.
What is a globe? What is a globe? What is a
All
globe,
right.
Alex? What is a 360-degree sphere, Alex?
JC's going with circular. I'm going with, I don't know, child. I'm just here. All right. So anyway, until Monday, I'm going to talk to y'all later on Rewind with Besa.